Hello everyone, this is Faiz Mohammed with you, and the topic of my today's presentation is a comparative analysis of international human resource management practices across the different continents. KFC as a case study we will take, and we will see how international human resource management of KFC is working in USA, China, UK, and South Africa. So let's get started. So let's discuss what is the international human resource management. International human resource management refers to the process of managing human resources in a multinational or a global organizational context. It involves recruiting, training, compensating, and retaining employees across different countries while considering cultural, legal, economic, and political differences. It is very important to understand the cultural and religion differences, which are cultural variations like individualism versus collectivism, power distance, profoundly impact employees' motivation, communication, and work ethics. Regional differences like labor law, economic conditions, and talent availability necessitate tailored HR strategies. KFC is a prime example of a globalized organization requiring sophisticated IHRM. Let's see what are the international human resource management practices in USA. When discussing international human resources in USA, it's crucial to understand the distinct organizational behavior and the unique challenges that arise, often rooted in the country's cultural and legal framework, high individualism, and emphasis on performance-based rewards. If you see the organizational behavior, it comes like direct communication, legal compliance, and diversity. Employees are expected to take ownership of their career paths and seek out opportunities for advancement. Americans tend to be relatively comfortable with ambiguity and change and are more open to new ideas and innovation. Compliance with minimum wage, overtime, anti-discrimination law, for example, Title 7 ADA, and health and safety regulations like OSHA. There are some challenges which are being faced by international human resource management in USA, which are for multinational like KFC, ensuring consistency in brand standards and certain HR policies globally, while also adapting to the unique cultural and legal landscape of the US can be delicate. The other challenges which involves are higher employee turnover in the fast food industry, competition for talent, managing diverse demographics, and adherence to strict labor law. The fast food industry especially faces high turnover rates, which means IHRM needs to constantly focus on recruitment, onboarding, and retention strategies. The US job market, particularly for skilled positions, can be highly competitive. The US healthcare system is notoriously complex and expensive. Designing competitive and compliant health and welfare benefits packages for employees in a major HR challenges, especially for a large workforce. The best practices which IHRM in USA they are following is robust training program like KFC College performance management system with clear metrics, competitive compensation and benefits, strong focus on career development pathways. On other end, China, they have different IHRM practices in Asia. China presents a fascinating and complex landscape for international human resource management characterized by a unique blend of traditional cultural values, rapid economic development, and an evolving regulatory environment. They are maintaining harmony with teams and the organization is paramount. Direct confrontation or public criticism is often avoided to save face. Rewards and recognition of often have a collective component of foster teamwork. Communication with superiors may be more indirectly relying on subtle cues and non-verbal signals. Investment in long-term skill development and continuous learning is highly valued. Providing feedback or criticism should be done privately and constructively to avoid causing someone to lose face. The challenges which are faced by the HRM in China are that the China labor legal framework is complex, constantly evolving, and can be significantly by region and city. Navigating the various social insurance scheme, pension, medical and employment, work injury, maternity, and housing funds, and ensuring correct contribution for both local and expatriate staff is intricate. Finding the right balance between globally standardized HR policies and global adaptations is a continuous challenge. Depending on the industry and company ownership, the influence of government policies and the Communist Party on organizational decision, including HR, can be significant. If we talk about the best practices in China, that are the strong focus on team-based incentives, comprehensive training program to build loyalty and skills, emphasize on employee welfare and benefits like housing allowances, building strong relationships with local labor unions. On other end, international human resource management practices in UK are much different. The UK workplace culture is shaped by its business environment, legal framework, and social values. They have less emphasis on rigid corporate structure compared to Asian markets. Employees often have direct access to senior management, high prevalence of part-time, temporary, and hybrid work arrangements. They have strict employment laws, governs working hours, minimum wages are pound like 10.42 pounds per hour as per the figures in 2023, and anti-discrimination policies. They have performance reviews are typically candid but diplomatic. UK consumers expect polite, efficient service requiring rigorous staff training like KFC customer excellence programs. They have some challenges which are being faced by the UK HRM are compliance with the Working Time Directive like 48 hours sleep, GDPR, Privacy Equity Act 2010. Other challenges which are being faced by international human resource management in UK are mandatory wages increases and managing generational and ethnic diversity in cities. They have 60% of KFC UK staff are aged 16 to 25, 24. They have a high cost of living in major cities, like drives up pay expectations, making competitive compensations crucial IHRM considerations. The best practices in the UK are robust employee relation policies, training programs, health and safety regulations, competitive pay benefits, and European standards emphasize on employee well-being and flexible working arrangements. International human resource management practices in South Africa. South Africa workplace culture reflects its unique socio-economic context and a diverse population. The African, they believe I am because we are emphasize teamwork, mutual respect, and collective decision making. They have personal connections. They are increasing in adoption of participative management style. Younger workforce pushing for filter structures, particularly in tech and service sectors, requires multinational communication strategies and HR policies. Challenges which are being faced by a South African team is while talent is abundant, job ready skills are scarce, and skilled professionals immigrating for better opportunities. They have very difficult termination process, massive pay gaps they have regular power outage, and many workers rely on reliable public transport affecting punctuality. Best practices being followed by a South African team is focus on basic skill training development, community engagement, and corporate social responsibility initiatives, fair and transparent recruitment process, tailored compensation structure considering local cost of living. If we compare the leadership style and culture dimensions, the USA, China, UK, and South Africa, they have different dimensions. Leadership styles are different, recruitment process are different, trainings are different, and the compensation culture dimensions are much different than other countries. Each countries are following their own. USA is following transformational, while China is following the paternalistic. UK participative, South Africa servant leadership. And if we see the cultural dimensions, it's a high individualism, low power distance in USA, high collectivism, high power distance in China, moderate individualism in UK, and moderate power distance in South Africa. This table, which shows the challenges and innovations across the continents by international human resource management of KFC is facing, which is recruitment and selection process, different training and development, performance management, compensation and benefits, employee relations, international human resource challenges, best practices, and innovations are different in across the countries. USA follows online skill based. Recruitment selection, China is referring the referrals, academic ties, UK, which is following formal competency, West South Africa, they are following community outreach and local focus. Here is the conclusion and future trend in international human resource management globally. Successful international human resource management requires adapting HR policies to local culture norms, legal framework, and economic conditions. KFC's case demonstrate how standardized global practices must be modified to fit regional expectations and labor costs like national living wages and employment laws in South Africa dictate hiring, compensation, and retention strategies. Multinationals like KFC must align corporate objectives with legal realities, and the youth training programs in South Africa versus automation in the UK to offset labor costs. KFC should adopt AI and digital transformation for predictive analytics for talent acquisition and chatbots for employee support like KFC UK shift webing apps. KFC need to focus on expanding beyond gender, race to neurodiversity and generational inclusion. For example, Generation Z demand for purpose-driven work. Thank you so much. This is all about our today's presentation. And if you have any question, please write in the comments. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.